Ashes Wednesday series. And I hope that along the way you've gotten to try some new ways to embody your faith in flesh, and blood, and bone, that you've engaged in some spiritual practices that you hadn't engaged in before. And there may be some you just watched the video. You didn't really do it. That's okay. For the last week, the last video, I want to talk about the imposition of ashes. This whole series was rooted in the ashiest Ash Wednesday that I've ever experienced. Stuck in my house without lights, burning wood in the fireplace, trying to keep my baby warm, unable to provide a service that recognized lack, deprivation, fasting, death, mortality. And some of the ideas, the things that I wanted to talk about in that service became parts of this video series. But the most valuable spiritual practice that a lot of us felt the lack of at that time was the imposition of ashes. Having a pastor who could look you in the eye and say, "You are dust, and to dust you will return." That was the practice that became the kind of basis of this thing, was that I want to provide some way in a time of COVID, in a time of blizzard, for us to do this imposition of ashes that I couldn't do at the time. Now, I recorded this series all at once, although I didn't edit it all at once, so I incorporated some other elements. And so I don't know what new volcano has erupted or UFO has landed by Palm Sunday, but if things go according to plan, and I certainly pray that they have, then Palm Sunday will have been a couple of days ago. We will have waved palm branches, and we will be preparing ourselves, engaging in Holy Week, preparing ourselves for Good Friday. And I think it's an interesting time to remember the ashes. And I think it's an interesting time to remember the invitation that I would have invited you to had we been celebrating Ash Wednesday together, to impose your own ashes, or to offer an imposition of ashes for your own family. In the Presbyterian Church, we believe that in order to do a baptism or to preside at table in communion, you need to be ordained. You need to be trained, and you need to know how to do it right. That's a particular role in the church that some people are called to, and not everyone is. But the imposition of ashes, even though it's traditionally done by the pastor, isn't like that. It's just a tradition, and it's a good, valuable tradition. One of the ways that tradition is traditionally carried out is to burn the palm branches from the previous year's Palm Sunday, to take the glory, the celebration, the victory, the triumph of the triumphal entry, and to recognize that over the course of the year it has turned brown and old, and that it's time for what's old to be past, and to let go, and to make room, make space, make emptiness, make time in Lent, to make room for a new Palm Sunday. So as we remember the palms, maybe you've brought some palms or some ashes from that service to do this with. If not, I'd encourage you to make your own. It's pretty easy to make ashes. If you don't have palms to burn, one really valuable practice would be to burn a note. I like to burn bad news in the newspaper, if you get the newspaper. Just let Christ turn those things to ash. Remember that those things are temporary, like dust in the wind. Christ is making all things new. And if you don't have bad news delivered to your house, you can write your own bad news. Make a list of things that are burdening you, that are weighing you down, things you're worried about, stressed over, things you're carrying that you don't need to be carrying anymore. Turn those to ashes. And then I like to add a little bit of olive oil to my ashes to make them smear. And remember that you are dust. And to dust you shall return. The smears of ashes are never perfect. Nobody gets a beautiful cross. That would go against the point of Ash Wednesday. Go against the reminder that all of us are going to die. All of us have bits of ourselves that are sinful and ugly. I can hear an element of a siren outside that's really appropriate. As we think about the people that have passed on before us, the people that will go after us, we are temporary. Our struggles, our problems are temporary. We are sinful, fallen, and broken, and the things that will remain of us, the things that will be saved, are the things Jesus has transformed and redeemed. So, as we prepare ourselves to remember Jesus' death, remember your own death. Remember the ashes and engage with the ugly, mucky, black darkness. Because in a few short days, Sunday is coming to make all things new. And when you're done and when you've benefited as much from this practice as you dare to, and I hope you do engage with this practice in some way. By the way, if you don't have ashes, you could use dirt. That would be okay. Then wash yourself. I like to use a little slice of lemon. I don't have one right here, but soap and water will also work. A little slice of lemon juice will help to pull those ashes away. Wash your face. Oil your hair. Don't let anybody know that you're a holy person that did an imposition of ashes activity. It's not for them. It's for you and your own relationship with God. I hope this series has been a blessing.